Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, I wanted to get into why in 2023, I still think that the AD200 by Godox is still the best off-camera flash that you can buy for the money. So last week I was going through the comments and I saw that Ron Lamelin, I hope I'm pronouncing your last name correctly, I was asking what type of videos would you guys like to see in the future, and he mentioned more off-camera lighting videos. So today I'm going to start a little technical. In the next week or two I'm going to be posting a few more off-camera lighting techniques, a few other gear reviews, but I wanted to get into why almost everybody on our team has the Godox AD200. I would say one of the biggest things, no pun intended, is the size. So even though it's not just... Damn, that's loud. Okay, I'm gonna try to pay attention not to slam it so hard. So even though it's not as small as a speedlight, for example, but it's not that much bigger. And for the power that it brings, the size of it is relatively small. This is also with the MagMod head, so that it's got the little rubberized end. And we always put this little rubber case on it. If you watched some of our previous videos where I compared this versus the AD400, I did link this, but I'll also link it down below again. If you have an AD200 or you're gonna get one, please buy yourself one of these. I think it's like $8 or something like that, but I'm telling you, we've dropped this flash more times than I'd like to admit, and it's still in great condition. So the first thing I wanted to mention is size. Even though it's not the smallest thing, for the size, it packs a tremendous punch. Now, I'm about to get Andrew, one of our photographers, very angry right now. Andrew, I'm sorry. But he's very much about the AD100. Now, what do I think about the AD100 versus the AD200? I think the AD100 is nice because it's smaller, but for me, I'm going, if I'm already carrying an off-camera flash, and this is just a little bit bigger than an on-camera flash, I'd rather get twice the power than what you get out of the AD100, because at that point you might as well put a speedlight on a stand and use that, which we do sometimes actually as our backup flash, or our back flash rather, since you don't need as much power. But for me, for the money, okay, yeah, Andrew, you're about to get real mad because I just googled how much they are. And the AD100 and the AD200 are the same exact price, so $299, give or take. If there's a sale or something, it's gonna vary a little bit, but $299, and you're getting twice the power for something that's probably 20% bigger. So to me, it just makes more sense to go on this. I'm not gonna go on a tangent why it's better than the AD100, but in my opinion, it's better than the 100. It's better than the 300 because it's a little smaller. It's better than the 400, again, because it's a little bit smaller. Better is relative. Better means overall. There are some things that on those units, it's definitely gonna be better. But overall, I think this is the perfect mix at the perfect price. So looking at my notes, size was the first thing that I wanted to mention. Power was the second thing that I wanted to mention. As you're seeing in some of these photos right now, it's never really left us wanting more. Now, is it a flash that you can use with a softbox in the middle of the day? You're gonna be pushing it. It might not give you enough for that. You might need to double up and use two. If you're using it as bare flash with nothing on it, in the middle of the day, you're gonna get plenty of power out of it. When we do bare flash, we don't do very close-up photos. So if we're doing fairly far away, then without a modifier, the bright highlights on the couple is not really gonna show as much because you're not shooting close up. Now, if you're shooting close up, you're probably gonna put a softbox and you're gonna put it as close as possible anyway. So even in that situation, I was gonna say it may work, but what I mean is it will work, because I have done headshots, and I'm showing you guys right now, that you can do with high-speed sync in an AD200, in a softbox or an umbrella to soften that light. So the amount of power that you get out of it is really, really good, and the amount of full power pops, according to the website, is 500, which if you need more than 500 full power shots, that's a lot of shots that you're doing that day. The recycle time is about 2 to 3 seconds. One thing that I tell our team is to wait a little bit. So what I'll do is, if I'm shooting a wedding party or if I'm shooting a couple, I'll go, okay guys, ready, 1, 2, 3. I'll count. So it's giving them a countdown to let them know that the photo is coming, and also it's giving my flash a little bit of a, couple of seconds to recycle. So I'll go 1, 2, 3. All right guys, ready, one more, 1, 2, 3. And then again, ready, 1, 2, 3. It's the only time that I really count. When I'm shooting with, no flashes, I don't really do the countdown. But when I'm doing it with off-camera lighting, I do that so that way the flash gets a little bit of recycling time. And then another really great thing about the AD200 is the usability on it is super simple. You basically turn it on the side right here. You hear it power up. It shows you how much battery you have. It shows you, once you set it to be a receiver, it shows you what channel you're on. what group you're on. Everything is very, very straightforward and very legible. You're going to see a few smudges in ours because we put these things through its paces, but you know, it really does hold up very well, even through all the abuse. And as far as how to read it, everything is extremely straightforward, as you're seeing in the shot right now. A couple of things that I did want to mention as far as usability and seeing the back of the screen. If you guys ever see your flash go down by one little notch, like the battery's, you know, going down, don't trust it as far as thinking that, okay, now I have 3 more notches that it's going to go down until the battery's dead. No, once it goes down 1 notch, it's over. Switch the battery, because once it goes down 1 notch, your full power pops, or it's going to go pop, and then you're going to have to wait like 4, 5, 6 seconds until it powers up again. Once one little notch goes down on the battery, you're gonna have to replace it, you know, go on to the next battery, or if you have another unit, you know, just grab the other unit. So I just wanted to mention that. Don't listen to that portion, because that part is a lie. It will let you down. So once you see that go down, switch over. So the AD200 comes with this head, and then it also comes with the bare bulb head, which I don't have it with me. It's somewhere upstairs. I never really use them, but if you're putting them in a softbox, that's probably an area where you would use it, so it spreads all over the place. For us, we don't really use it that much, so I don't ever switch the head. I always leave it on this one, except when we do details. And as you're seeing in the clip right now, we use a little LED head that just attaches to the front, and here's what it looks like. A little LED head, and I'll show you guys a little video of it as well and how powerful it is. It's not extremely powerful, so we're not using it for our couples in the evening. We're using it more for details, for ring shots, for jewelry, for things like that, where you want it to just sparkle just a little bit more. We do that, and we've also attached the Magmod mag grip, so that way we can attach our CTOs, grids, all that stuff. It can be attached to this, because sometimes we don't want the light to spill so much. The grid really helps, so we just attach an extra one to this one. It attaches right there. I think it's like $30 or so on Amazon. I'll post it also below so you guys can check it out. And as far as durability, like I was saying, we don't baby our equipment. I mean, we're not careless, and we're not just gonna toss it around and, you know, if it breaks. No, but if it falls over when we're shooting headshots or whatever the case may be, like it's gonna knock over something. It is what it is. It can take a pretty good hit if you have this cover. So that's going to be a little bit more of a compliment to the cover than it is to the actual AD200. However, if it's falling and it's on a cover and it still holds up, I mean, credit where credit is due. It still works really well. Just don't go raw on it. Make sure you put a little cover on it, and you're going to be just fine. Going with durability, however, we have, or at least I have, some of these flashes are like 4 or 5 years old. So I've used them quite a bit. I shoot multiple times a week, couple of weddings, almost every single weekend. So they get a lot of mileage. And for me to say that they're still kicking, they're still doing great, there's only one battery that I had to dispose that started acting up. So every time I would put it in, it would change to full power, even though I was telling it that I wanted quarter power or eighth power or whatever. So at a certain point, I'm like, all right, this is enough, and I dispose of it. One thing that I always do, here's a little tip, is I label them. So you see how this one says 1 on it? I have another one that says 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, 2 was the one that was giving us a problem, so that one's gone. But label them, so that way you know when something's acting up, you can kind of have a control and see which one, when does it act up. And I noticed it was always battery number 2. It was giving me a problem. It was time to go. So label your batteries. It will definitely help you in the future. And then obviously one thing that I really like about the AD200, really the winning thing for me, and I guess now it also works with AD100 and a few other ones, but it was the fact that we could use, and it's stuck, the fact that we can use Magmod modifiers. So Magmod doesn't pay me to say this. They didn't sponsor us before. I had already bought all my stuff before Magmod started sponsoring us. So don't think I'm kissing their butts just because they give us stuff. But the fact that we can use the Magmod modifiers, I mean, that makes a huge difference, because it'll go from just throwing flash everywhere to being able to control flash, because we have, where is it, our handy dandy grid. So here's a little grid, here's a CTO, here's, well, that's a quarter CTO, that's a full CTO, and we use a, and we use a CTB actually from time to time lately. Where's my other grid? There it is. And also, guys, I'm probably going to make a video about this little pouch. This little guy has been beat to hell, but amazing to carry your modifiers in. I'll show you exactly how we separate them and everything in there. That's a video for, maybe I'll do it next week. So stay tuned. And then I guess the final thing before I wrap everything up is the fact that it does high-speed sync is definitely a huge plus. Now, If you haven't done high speed sync, there's a video that I posted below. There's a few people that busted my chops because I kept calling the AD400 the 8600. I used to have the 8600, sold it, and then I have the 8400. Anyway, go and check out that video. I'll link it at the end of this video, so you can go and check out high speed sync, how it works, where you would use it, all that. But generally speaking, high speed sync is something that you want to use when you want to blur out the background, but still use flash. As you're seeing in some of these images here, it has a very dreamy effect that, and I always tell my couples this when we shoot them, I go, just tell your friends this wasn't photoshopped, and then I'll show them the photo, and 9 times out of 10 they're like, whoa, because it's something that most people don't do. So it just looks like a really cool effect. I don't abuse it. I don't use it for every shot, but if I'm using like the 35 to 150 and I'm shooting really zoomed in and it's the afternoon and all these things are lining up, I'll throw in a little high speed sync and it just looks so buttery and clean behind them. So it's one thing that I would definitely commend this flash about, that it's it's a small little flash, but it definitely packs a punch and it allows you to be as creative as you want to be. To summarize on that point, remember guys, equipment it's just gear. Whether you get this, the AD100, the AD400, the AD600, whatever you're using, as long as you're using it and you're getting creative with it and you're having fun with it, and heck, if you're making a living with it, even better, as long as you're doing all those things, that's what matters. But in my personal opinion, if this thing breaks and I have another $300 to go and spend, I'm gonna go and buy this. I don't care for the AD100 because it's too small and not powerful enough. The AD400 I do have, but it's very big and cumbersome. It does get in the way sometimes with the flow of the day. So we only use it for portions of the day when we're shooting in the middle of the day. And we want just a little bit more power. And I have an assistant, so that helps, you know what I mean? But if you're shooting by yourself, go and get you an AD200 and you're gonna thank me later. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think as far as the AD200, opinions on it, experience with it, anything that I missed that you guys would want to add on. I'm sure I'll do another video on some other topic about it later. But again, guys, everybody that's been watching, been commenting, thank you so much. I honestly really appreciate it. This year, I promise you, is a year that I'm going to be taking off with posting a lot more. As you're seeing, I'm trying to stay as consistent as possible. If you made it this far and you're still watching, first of all, thank you so much. Consider subscribing because we will be posting a lot more videos in the near future. Thank you so much for watching.